recording. Okay, we have created our package. Okay, so today I have to start working on this project again. So what I will do first, I will go to my Gitbosh in File Explorer. Right click Gitbosh share. I will simply hit pull to ensure no one else have worked on my project or I get the latest work in my machine. So these things you already know, so I don't want to repeat again and again and again. We can directly dive into our project. We were working on separating each section and giving height for each section so that we can very well distinguish between each section. Hope you all have completed this. But what I also know is many of you haven't given access to my repository.
Sir, mute.
Okay,
This is screen not visible, sir.
okay, sorry. We have started sharing screen. Hope you can see now. Okay, so I have just opened our project in local. And our previous goal was to separate each section with some background color and apply corresponding height. I have done that for the entire page. Now our goal is to complete each section one by one and remove this background color and the height. Okay, so we ended with this section. It has four boxes: lorem ipsum, said ut, some text, and this is again another text, and this is again another text. There are four boxes. How we are going to achieve this? That's what we will see first. After that, we will move on to the next section. Okay. Um, Let me check the layout for the section. For that, I need to open my Visual Studio Code. So it has one Flux container and four Flux items. I will use this ID as parent selector. Display Flux so that all child will become Flux item. All children of this F container will become Flux items. So now I can follow Flux concept for these two sections, this Flux item for this div and all the four divs. I can treat these things as Flux and I can apply the corresponding styles as needed. What are all those corresponding styles? This one. This page has complete reference. So our requirement will fall under any one of this section. Okay. So let me refresh. Let me save my CSS. hide my Explorer by pressing Control B and refresh this. Oh, so we have simply got four. Okay, we have only one, two, three. Yeah, we have got four different columns now just by applying display flux. And now I need to apply some background color. Before that, let me change the text bit so that you can easily understand or differentiate each one. Do any of you what language is this? I'm sure it is not English, but do you have any idea what language is this? Lorem ipsum said that blah 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 glue glue glue. No, no, no. So what language is this? Anyone of you know? It's not Hindi, it's not Tamil, it's not Malayalam, but some other language. If you don't know, then you can say no. In this website, they have used some language, right? Find out more about us. This text I can understand, but these things I couldn't understand. So, do you know which language is this? French from Ashwin. So, French. Ashwin, you know French? Or you just saying no, sir? Okay. So, if no one knows French here, then you can say I know French. Pseudo Latin. Okay. Okay. Actually, this text is called as lorem ipsum. It doesn't belong to any particular language. If you go and search lorem ipsum, you can get so many websites. I will open first website. It will explain what is lorem ipsum and all. To give an overview, it is just a dummy text. When you don't have content for one section, but you want to fill some text, then you can use. Usually, in your college days, you will type something like this. Uh, when you don't know what to type, but you need to type a paragraph, then you will type like this. But it will look very bad. You cannot read it, and you would very well know that it's not good. Instead of that, there is one language which will look like English, but it is not English. And you can generate any number of text. There are so many online tools available. So this is a famous website, lipsum.com. When you need a lot of paragraph, then you can use it. Just need to choose some. Need to give some options. By default, it will be paragraph. If you want word, bytes, or list, you can choose any one and generate lorem ipsum. You will get a lot of content. You can just copy from here and paste it somewhere you need. It look like English, but it is not English. Okay, some random text that looks like English word. Okay, so Spain, this is not French, but a good guess. Okay. So though it's not part of our scope, it's mandatory thing to know by every developer. So whenever you build a project for which you haven't got the content, You can use that website and tell your client that when you give the actual content, I will replace it. Okay, let's go to our project. So we have got four things, and each box should have background color. So I can simply give for F item the background color. The background color is white, so I don't need to check that. I can simply give this. I refresh my screen. I got white, but problem is there is a space between each section, so I need to achieve that. Also, there is a shadow effect and there is a border radius effect. So all these things I have to achieve. That is very easy to achieve. It's matter of applying some CSS styles. But one thing that I don't know is how to achieve the space between each section. Can anyone tell me what I have to type here? What style I have to give to flux item or flux container so that I will get space between each section. Can anyone of you tell me? We are using flux concept. So if you compare this with the reference design, there is a space in left and right side. So how can we achieve that? Flux wrap, flux basis, flux basis, and what value I should give? Harish, 15%. So it shrinks. So if I want to control width of a flux item, then I can use flux basis super. But now the problem here is everything it starts from left edge and the space is not you distributed. The empty space is not distributed properly. What I mean is there should be decent spacing between all elements. I don't want space in right side. I want this space to be distributed among all sides. How can I achieve that? Flux wrap, I don't think right style. Now we need to identify some style that will help us to distribute this right side space between four elements. So let me go through this requirement. Flux wrap will decide whether the child should come to the next line or not. You would say this justify content. Now we have this value. All elements starts from left edge and the remaining space is placed here. But what we want? the space should be distributed on all things. That is space around. If you check this from container, okay. Uh, okay. So from container, this is the container line. It has some space here, 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 and even in right side. So I would say this has been placed as space around, and the property name is just be content. So I have to give justify content as property and space around as value. Mhm. So I have applied that, but it's not working. Can anyone tell me what is the reason? What could have been the reason? Some, so it's property of flux container, not flux item. Space around. That's it. So now we have got a decent spacing, but the problem is it's not 100% accurate. So I would increase the flux basis value to map it. So 22 looks good for me, but still not 100% matching. The reason is by default there will be some padding for the container. Let me cross check that, or we can check what value they have given. So they have given some padding for this column. So for flux item, we need to give some padding. Or let us try space evenly. It's all not the right value. So let's leave it here, space around, and let's focus on other section. Now I need to give background color this and remove this for now. And reduce my flux basis value bit. So flux basis value is 20%, and I have given some padding to ensure the inner content has some space, but I couldn't find any difference. Since even though there is background color, it is not visible. To feel that difference, I need to give that box shadow value. X-axis distance 4 pixel, y-axis distance 4 pixel, and blur value 4 pixel. This is some rough value I have given, and now I will match it with this one. My shadow should spread in all direction. So I will give 0. So the starting point will be 0. So now this shadow will be in all 4 direction, and I want to increase the size and reduce the color. Now it looks decent and matching with the given website, and there should be a curve in all 4 edges based on the reference website. So I will give. How can we bring that radius? How can we bring that radius? I mean the curve effect. I will study it in CSS. Border radius. Yeah. Now I need to supply 4 different values if I want 4 different curve radius. But here all curve looks same. So I can give only one value. Well, and instead of giving like this, let us give single padding 10 pixel. So we have almost got this, right? So we have almost got this um box and other stuff. If I refresh my page, then all my styles will go away. So I have to copy from here and paste it in my code. Super. So we have got this one, but the problem is height. Let us solve that. For highlight, I will give some padding. Okay, 3 pixel, and I have to reduce the height now. We will remove this height once we complete the section 100%. Okay. Okay. So one section. It's fine. Now we know how to add, how to make this text bold, and how to increase the spacing between these two. That and all we know very well. So we can focus on those stuffs later. Now our goal is to complete the layout part. Any questions on this? This section is very important. What we have done so far, I mean today, what we have done is very important. We give display flex for the F container class name, and we give some properties like flex basis to achieve that box in horizontal direction, and we applied padding and background color, box shadow, border radius to match it with the reference design. When we hover on it, some background color is coming. That and all we can take as last task. Okay. Any questions on this, or we can move on to next topic? Any questions, or you are very clear about what I am questions? Super. Okay. So the first level of complexity, we have completed that. The easiest part was having section which don't have any horizontal spacing. It means there is only one column. Those kind of sections we took first. Then we took a section which has horizontal column, but only horizontal column. There is no 100% occupation. There is no section which has full width. Each there are only four sections, and there are only four boxes. We can say in that way. So we chose that section, and we have achieved that as well. Let us search for some other section which is like that. This one here, if you see, there are two boxes in left and right side, but I don't want to take this now. I will tell you why when I complete that section. When I take this section, this is also something similar to that. There are four boxes. What name we had given for this section? What name? What ID value we had given for this section? Can anyone tell me without seeing the code? We gave some ID value statistics. Super. So I can take this section now, but I'm not going to do this. You can do yourself because there is no difference between this section and this section. This also has four boxes and there is one background color. Don't try to achieve this image now. That is not our thought. There are four boxes and inside each box there are two text elements. That's it. Okay, now we won't give even that text element. We will simply give the text as plain text and we can achieve that box. So you can take this work as today's goal for you. You are not going to do anything new. I mean, in terms of concept, what we have done for features for features, what are the things that we have given for this section, the same will be applied for this section as well. Any other section similar to that? This is just images, so I would say we don't even need a column, but if required, you can follow the same. So this section also you can take because this also has only boxes, and instead of text, it has image. So now you don't focus on image. You can simply type the logo name, like my OB Belimo. What are the value that is available in the image? You can give that as a text. So you can do this section as well. And let me check for some other sections. Testimonial you don't need to take now. Well, so I don't see any other section which is similar to this feature. So you can do two sections yourself. One is statistic section, another one is client section. Let me check which name I gave for that. Statistics and claim. These two sections, you can do it yourself, like how I did. You can use the same class name, F container and F item. You can use the same container, but same class name. But you should change the parent selector. It is okay if you apply the same styles again for the same class name. We are just practicing. Later, we will simplify these styles, but we can worry about that in the later stage of the project. Now, our goal is to accomplish the layout in right way. So let us take the next level of complex job. I would say the next level of complex job is this one, our services section. If you see, this section has two different areas. One is title, which takes 100% width, right? Check our services and some dummy text and this title. It takes 100% and center aligned, but there is another part which don't take 100%, but some spacing is there. So we have to split this section carefully. So let me go to my services section. Okay. So I have to split this section into two parts, title section and content section. I would say these three items will be inside one div, and all these six boxes will be inside one div. This will have text. Here there should be four boxes. Again, we know we need to apply flex concept to accomplish this layout. So I will need one container, and inside that flex container there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. And each item has some text. Okay. Okay, I'm done with copy pasting. Can give some BR. This is again one shortcut. At a time, you can type multiple lines. To achieve this, you have to use Alt key. So you have to press Alt key and click wherever you want to type the same text. Now you can simply type. And if you click again in somewhere else, this will go away. It's again a shortcut that every developer should use. I need to enter in multiple area, so I will. This will save a lot of time. Same here. I have just Alt key in my keyboard, and I'm just clicking wherever I want to add enter. That's it. Let me go and see my section. I need to see my services section. It's good, but it comes in left direction, so there is no container class at all. Okay, and these things service check our service, and this text will come in the center alignment. That is okay, but our main focus will be on this box. So we need to have one class here. Okay, so what happened? So we have two different sections. Section title, I will give this section title related elements inside this thing, and section content, I will use the div to fill content related sections. And now you know how to achieve the six boxes. So you can do it yourself. How will you do? You can give a hint from service. Inside service, you can directly target this. This is fine, but it will create a problem when there is a container inside section title as well. So if you have to give one flex container inside section title, then this selector will not work because this will be applied for both. Okay, what I'm saying is, if in case you are supposed to have a flux container inside flux title as well, if that is the scenario, then this selector will create a problem because first it will select service ID, okay, and it will apply the styles written here to both this selector and this selector. But I want to apply different style for this and a different style for this. If that is the requirement, then what change I have to make here? Can anyone tell me? Even though this is not required for my layout, just to I'm just discussing this because you may get these kind of scenarios in future. There are two Flex containers. The parent is service. I want to apply two different styles. For example, color red, color blue. For this F container, I want to apply color blue. For this F container, I want to apply color red. But if I write like this, then for both F container, color blue will be applied. It won't take red at all. So what change I have to make so that color red will be applied to this line alone, and color blue will be applied to this style alone. What change I have to make in selector? Can anyone think and tell me? Very easy answer. Section title. Yeah. So now, if your eyes were on this selector and this selector, then it is wrong. You have to select the nearby selectors as well. There is one difference. This flex container is inside section content. This flex container is inside section title. So what I will give, so now the selector will become service section title flex container. So red will be applied, but this will not, this color red will not disturb this flex container. The reason is section title is different element and section content is different element. There is no relation between flex container and the section title. The flex container is inside section content, so that will be applied. Got it? So this is how you have to place your selector. But this is not our requirement now. I can simply delete, or can simply delete this. So you can do this as well. You will apply some styles here so that you will get this output. And for this section, you won't have proper height. Let me do that. Here, this box should come, means the lorem ipsum should come from some area. So what I will do is, for section title, I will apply some height. Let me hide my background color first. I will apply some height for this section. Give something like this. There should be there should be some gap between these two elements. So we'll apply for section title. So now it won't disturb. I mean, now this content will not disturb my flex container styles. You want to refresh this one, this lorem ipsum will start from right area. Now you can focus on bringing all this in this direction and make 6 boxes. So you have to give flex wrap. Then only the fourth child will come to next line. So you can try that for this section. So if you complete this one, then which one you can easily take? This section you can easily take. Um, you don't need to worry about the content inside this. There are two boxes. So this is flux container, and inside the flux container, there are two flux items. This is one flux item, and this is another flux item. Both occupy same width, so we can give flux basis as 50%, and you don't need to worry about the inner content now. You don't need to worry about the inner content now. You can simply copy paste it and give BR, because now our focus is on layout. So you can simply copy paste this yellow highlighted area, but you have to give flux container for the outer edge, and you have to give flux item for inner boxes, and apply very styles. Before that, you will split these two things. This will be the first step. Making a section title, uh, is really very difficult to draw. And this screen will become section content, and inside this section content there is one, in this line there is one flux container, just give this as flux container. Inside that flux container there are two boxes. This red is flux item. Okay, so I have explained the flow. You have to implement this in your project. Okay, so you can complete the code section as well. Just keep this alone blank. I mean, you don't need to take this section alone for now. You can complete the services section. Testimonial also you don't need to take. Portfolio also you don't need to take now. Again, this one you can complete exactly by following this one. Check our services. Under that there are 6 boxes. Our hardware team. Under that there are 4 boxes. You don't need to worry about the image, other stuffs. Just four boxes. That's it. And there is some box shadow, so we achieve that. And this also you can do. A section. There are four boxes. This also you can do. This one we don't need to take now because the box width is different, so we can take it later. And this also you can footer. There are four boxes. It may not look like a box. This will be a flux container, and inside that there are four flux items. You can achieve that. Okay, so I think you can almost complete layout for most of the sections, except this one, except header, progress bar, testimonial, portfolio, and contact us. Except these sections, you can complete layout for rest of the sections, and you can leave this as well. Because there is a small thing that triggered, so you can remove. You can avoid these things, the footer also. Except these items, this section, you can complete layout for other sections because you technically know how to do. Only thing that you need to do is follow video and the concept that we implemented for one section for service section. Yeah. Concept that implemented for the service section and highlights. By following that, you can complete the layout for other pages and give access to me. For now, we have got access from only two persons. One is Abhinesh and another one is Madan. I didn't receive repository access from anyone else. The project name that Madan has chosen is RM and Abhinesh has chosen Matrix. Nice names. Like that, you can give some name, but the output will be same. I mean, the look and feel will be same. Just that instead of Bisland, you will have these values, these names, Matrix and RMBs. Okay. Um. Okay. R mother business. Okay. All the best, mother. Nice name. Like that, I need repository from every one of you, and my expectation is you should have completed all layout which I said in this video. So you should have completed all sections in the repository and give access to me before 6 p.m. today. If you cannot meet the timeline, then you have to inform Subha. Okay. Any questions on today's session? I will send the video recording straight away after this session, and I will push my code as well. I have just modified, so I can simply commit when a when A is to say all changes have to be committed. If an M is to tell a message for that commit, I would say flux layout. Once I push the code, we'll go to my repository and cross check whether it has come or not. 25 seconds ago. So my push has come here and you can click it and check that all changes have come. These are the changes I made. The flex items, the height changes. These are the things that we did. So it has come properly. So I will ensure that the changes I did through command prompt has reflected properly. Then I will close this. The same thing that you also have to do. After pushing your code, you have to come to GitHub and ensure whether your commit has come to GitHub repository or not. Okay, that's it. Have a great day. If you have any questions, you can stay or you are good to leave now. Thank you.